I started boxing at the age of 9. Just hearing about my dad, who, raised me as a single parent for most of my life, just hearing about how he prepared for fights and just his love for the sport, it quickly shifted my interest.
His dad came in and approached me, said he was looking for a trainer for his sons, one who could teach his sons how to hit and not get hit. I indicated that was me. Gave him a couple of weeks of tryout, see how he would like it. He took to it right away, and we just continued on.
My dad, he had a really, really tight grip on me and my brother, and probably too tight at sometimes. Our life pretty much consisted of, going to school, coming home, doing our homework, and then going to the gym. Like, we had the lifestyle of an older person.
Well, he knew what he wanted to do at an early age. He was in it, hook, line, and sinkers. He talked about it, he watched boxing, and he also practiced it.
A lot of that is the reason why I am who I am today, and I have the work ethic I have, but some of that was a little too much at the time because, I didn't get a chance to experience a lot of my childhood growing up because of the sport of boxing and the way I had to dedicate myself. I moved to Oakland when I was about 14 or 15 years old, and, my mom hadn't really been in my life up until this point. So, like most kids, especially a boy, I wanted to live with my mother and see what that felt like. And she lived in North Oakland on 55th and Market. And we have to pass Oracle Arena every day to get to King's Gym.
We would drive by Oracle Arena and he'd say, one day I'm gonna fight right here in this building.
Me and my wife, we've been married 12 years, and we're high school sweethearts, even though we didn't go to the same high school. She may not agree with it, but for me, it was love at first sight. We went through rough times. We were a teenage couple and a long distance relationship. And, when I had a child at 16, I thought it was over. I remember getting a phone call at my high school and her telling me she was pregnant and just being in shock.
He started telling me how he's gonna support us. We're gonna be just fine. He's gonna take care of me and Andre Jr.
All I had at that time when I brought my wife back from Seattle to the Bay Area, all I had was a dream. She knew I boxed, but she didn't know how good I was. She just took my word for it.
And I'm going to the Olympics in 2004. I'm going to win the gold medal. And I'm thinking, really? Who says that? Who does that?
I looked up and I had a gold medal around my neck, and it changed our lives. This day and age, to have a person like that, a real one, like somebody say, she knows me and I know she was here when I had nothing. I don't have to second guess anything. My wife is everything to me, and it's cool to be, an athlete or celebrity or whatever you want to call it, and to know that you got a backbone right there. That's my rib. My wife is my rib.
When he goes to camp, he stays at his training house, and he's there full time. Usually it's about 7 or 8 weeks. This will be the shortest camp that he's had ever, which is 5 weeks. And the kids are so excited every day. They're saying, can you just stay one more day? Can you just stay one more day? So we're all happy that it's just a 5-week camp. But he's definitely a different person as well. When he's at home, he is just joking, playing, happy, wanting to get outside, toss the football around, play basketball. But when he's in camp, he's very focused on his craft and the fight, and we all understand that, and the kids understand that, and we just we help him to get focused.
I'm still trying to figure out how to balance my family, how to balance, my profession. It's hard. It's hard. I think half the battle is just showing up, though. Just being there for my kids and being there for my wife and showing up to the gym and going through my disciplines. That's half the battle. Just trying to get better. Every day, every week, every month, every year, just trying to get better at what I do, And there's no cookie cutter approach to it. When I'm away from my wife and my kids, it's tough, but I know my faith in God, it gets my wife through. She's mom and dad when I'm gone. And
the kids just love him, and he loves them, and it's hard making that sacrifice, leaving, going to camp, but we all do it, and we get through it and we keep moving.
Give us your thoughts as we're 1 day away from your main event.
Man, I'm excited. My people come out to support the Bay Area. We got the best fans in the world. I told people that before. I told people that 4 or 5 years ago, but they seem to always underestimate the Bay Area. They seem to always underestimate Oakland. The Warriors did their thing. I'm ready to do my thing Saturday night. I love y'all. Thank you.
What is it like finally?
I kind of knew my mom wasn't going to have the reins on me that everybody else did. So I went and, you know, we got to know each other a little bit more, and, you know, it was some good times, there was some bad times, but, you know, I learned a lot, you know, living in a city like Oakland, California. You know, I learned how to be street smart, I learned how to survive, and, you know, Oakland's got a lot of character. And Oakland can give you a lot of character. And it's bad news that comes out of Oakland, but it's a lot of good that comes out of Oakland too. And I just look at myself like a Bay Area kid. You know, I was born in San Francisco, was raised in Hayward and Oakland. And I just feel like, you know, everywhere I go, I wanna bring the Bay Area with me. You know, I think it's one of the greatest places in the world.
Andre had torn his ACL. We got through that. He had his shoulder injury. And, you know, you get over those humps and you think, okay, we're on our way. And then all of a sudden, a big setback.
The Olympics was the first goal. Verge used to count on his hands. We got 6 years left. We got 4 years left. I mean, God blessed us to slowly move up the ranks as an amateur and actually go over there in Athens, Greece in 2004 and actually win a gold medal. Like, you know, we had just went to war around that time and we weren't really well received by other countries around the world, and we got booed pretty much every night. And to have the red, white, and blue on my back and to know that I'm not here for any other reason but to represent this great country, and then to know that I'm in the history books no matter what happens in my pro career with, you know, greats like Muhammad Ali and Evander Holyfield, like legends in this sport, it's just unbelievable to me. It's hard to believe.
Had the success in the Olympics, started his career as a pro.
The undefeated Andre SOJ.
It was just really cool, you know, living this stuff out. And you pray for the best and you hope for great things, but, you know, when it really does happen, it's amazing.
For my first professional fight, my nickname was ATF, All-Terrain Fighter. And it was a guy that I know that made a song for me for one of my fights. And he referenced SOG in the song. I was like, man, that fits. Like that's it.
The scripture says that that we all through faith in Jesus can become sons of God. And he really took a hold of this and has run with it, and that's his nickname.
A lot of times people, you know, they bring up my faith and you know, some people don't want to hear it, some people appreciate it. And they think it's just a religious thing, like he's very religious. It's like, nah, I'm a mess without my relationship with Jesus. And because I have a relationship with Jesus, that enables me to do these other things that I'm doing. I'm not perfect, I wish I was, but I'm not. But this enables me to get through. And when people ask me, how do you do what you do? I feel like I can speak and just give them my story.
At the end of the day, my prayer is that everything he's doing in life, from being a father, a husband, a son, a friend, a member of this church, that he's all doing it to the glory of God. And I love it because he's not, you know, crazy about it. He's not some fanatic about it. It's just, this is his life.
I can't get caught up in anything that's being said. And it's a scripture in the Bible that I read all the time and meditate on. It says, woe unto you if all men speak well of you. You're not always going to have people that like you. You're not always going to have people that pat you on the back. I mean, if I listened to those same critics, I wouldn't have won the Nationals. I wouldn't be a gold medalist right now. I wouldn't be a two-time world champion. We probably wouldn't be sitting here talking right now if I stopped and listened and took in what the critics have to say. That's an element. It's going to be there. You keep it in perspective. Keep moving. I want a knockout in this fight. And I know he wants a knockout in this fight. He wants a win. He wants to try to, upset me because he's not the favorite. A lot has gone on in the last 2 years.
The undefeated Andre S.O.J. Ward.
Andre had torn his ACL. We got through that. He had his shoulder injury. And, you get over those humps and you think, okay, we're on our way. And then all of a sudden, a big setback.
The legal violations were very clear. Don't quite know why the commission didn't see it as black and white as we saw it. Going through certain trials and tribulations, they can either make you or break you.
Everything kind of led to lawsuits, and we just couldn't get it going, just could not get a fight. I mean, you have an athlete who's in the prime of his career, and you feel like you're just wasting away, and you're wondering what's next for my career.
It was plenty of days I didn't want to be here. I wanted to be anywhere but a boxing gym. And I just kept working, and I kept answering the questions. What's next? Just be patient. It's coming. It's coming. I had to tell people at the gym. I had to tell people when I saw them in the street. I've been in between fights due to the injury, my legal situation with my promoter, and frustrating that I'm not in there is accurate. Dan Goossen is not my sole promoter. I have a co-promoter in Antonio Leonard. He's been my co-promoter since 2008, and I want both men to be involved in my business. There's a big misconception out there in the boxing game is that the promoters, are the bosses and they run the show, but I'm the fighter. I am the business, and I'm the boss. I'm the captain of the ship, and if I say, hey, I want these guys to be in a negotiating table and my manager to be involved, that shouldn't be something I get pushed back on. Why Rock Nation? One thing that really resonated with me that Jay-Z told me is he looked at me and said, look, I know what you just went through, and I know what you go through on a day-to-day basis. He said, I used to just be the artist. So I know what that fight is like, to want your voice heard, to want to be respected, to want to be your own boss. When you have a person who gets it, especially coming off of the last 2 years like I just came off of, you want to sign up with a team like that. I don't believe in tune-ups. I can't at this stage in my career. Paul Smith is a veteran.
Andre just, he has a great ability to kind of push everything else aside. This is my sole focus right now. This guy in front of me.
I try not to get caught up in everything. I see the cameras, I see the fans, I know the hype, I know the pressure that's associated with it. I just try to do what I know I need to do, no matter how big the moment is.
Even though I'm baking a cake and I got several ingredients in there, all you need to know is that it tastes good.
My skill, my ability, my conditioning, everything that got me to this point, I try to trust it in the biggest moment.
Even coming down to the gym to watch him now, during training camp, watching him spar, I'm looking like I would not want to be that guy.
Well, I think communication is a big part of training.
This is his face now. Squeeze, boom, see? See how quick that is?
I believe when you speak to a fighter subliminally, it embeds itself in the recesses of his brain, so his reactions are constantly being sharpened.
And go out the way and hit the court. I got you. There you go. Rest, okay.
You don't pay attention to people who think they know boxing and say you get rusty. And of course, that exists if you run the streets. You got some habits and vices that you shouldn't have, but that wasn't going to be an issue with him.
I don't believe in tune-ups. I can't at this stage in my career. Paul Smith is a veteran. He's fought for a world title multiple times. came up short, but he made his name in those losses because of the way he performed. This is his Super Bowl. His opportunity to fight me. Because it's his Super Bowl, it has to be my Super Bowl. Coming off the layoff, there's no room for error. Like, it's a loss for me if I don't look good in this fight. So the fans can expect a great fight as long as it lasts. You know, I'm not going to get out of character, but I want to knock out in this fight. And I know he wants to knock out in this fight. He wants to win. He wants to try to, you know, upset me because he's not the favorite. So there's a lot of different dynamics that play into this fight, but this is a must-win for me. It's just simple as that. People ask me why Paul Smith, like why did we choose Paul Smith? And we chose Paul Smith because we couldn't find Carl Froch. He's another English fighter who's in the same stable as this guy, and he, you know, talked loud, oh, I want to fight Ward, and we pursued it. We couldn't find the guy. His promoter literally told us that he was on vacation and he couldn't get a hold of him. So we went to the next best guy.
This particular fight coming back is probably more exciting than his debut of World Championship because it signifies the beginning of the last leg of the journey.
We change some things up based on who I'm fighting. You know, if I'm fighting a taller fighter, we have to work on certain things. If it's a shorter fighter, if it's an aggressive fighter, if it's a guy who likes to move a lot. But at the end of the day, the hard work has to be there. The focus has to be there. And not just me, but my whole team being locked in on that singular goal and purpose, which is that opponent and that night. Everybody plays a part on my team. So we all got to have one mind as we lead in the battle.
Man, it's the day before the fight, man. It's nothing, it's no feeling, no emotion that can describe a day before a fight. All the hard work is done. The buzz is in the air. You know, I just got to stay focused. I can't let that stuff distract me. I gotta lock in for tomorrow night. So I'm excited. I'm ready to go. And you know, it's 19 long months. So let's see what we look like tomorrow.
From Liverpool, England, with a record of 35 wins opposite 5 defeats, 20 of those coming inside the distance. Ladies and gentlemen, the former world title challenger, introducing Paul Real Gone Kid Smith.
I know some things about Paul Smith because I know his coach. I think it's a good fight. Andre to come back on, I think it's a great opportunity for Paul Smith. He just fought for the title twice, so it's not like it's his first rodeo.
Sometimes in this day and age, you know, especially in the sport of boxing, and I understand it to a degree, it's not always a lot of realness. You know, sometimes people say things, oh, I want to fight this guy and I'm going to knock him out, but they really don't mean it. You know, like I try to say what I mean and mean what I say. I got this scowl about me. We call it the Ward scowl. It's a well-known look in my family. I look back at film and pictures and stuff, I'm like, man, you look kind of crazy. You know, some people smile, some people, you know, but I call it being locked in. You know, you just see this look in my eye and it's like I see people, but I don't. You know, I hear them, but I hear the fans, but I don't. That's the face you see me looking like right before that bell rings. That's how you know it's go time.
Man, it's the day before the fight, man. It's nothing, it's no feeling, no emotion that can describe a day before a fight. All the hard work is done. The buzz is in the air. You know, I just got to stay focused. I can't let that stuff distract me. I gotta lock in for tomorrow night. So I'm excited. I'm ready to go. And you know, it's 19 long months. So let's see what we look like tomorrow.
It's hard to describe, like walking to the ring and actually being in the ring. Like you have to do it to fully understand that. And the best way I can explain it is like it's almost like an experience where it's like you're outside of yourself, looking at yourself walk. Like it's almost surreal. Like it's a moment that you've talked about, you've prepared for months. And all of a sudden, like, it's happening right now. We don't get a lot of respect for some reason. The Bay Area as a whole, and Oakland specifically, but more so the Bay Area,
people just, they want to look over us. People wonder why I stay so hungry. It's because no matter what I accomplish, I always got this underdog type of mentality, because there's always that he's good but, he's this but. And when you get enough buts, that gets you hungry enough to, you know, always want to come out and give your best. So for this to take place, for our city and for the Bay Area to be worldwide at center stage is unbelievable. You know, my whole career, I've been the oddball. My whole career, I've been the guy that seemed to go the opposite direction of the crowd, and not intentionally. It's just the way that it's worked out. And one thing that I'm accepting at 31 years old is I'm not going to look like everybody else. My career is not going to be like everybody else's career. My legacy at the end of the day is not necessarily going to look like everybody else. It's not going to look like Floyd. It's going to look like Andre Ward's career. That's what's important. So you guys read a lot of stuff. Some of it is true, some of it isn't, some of it makes sense, some of it is educated, some of it isn't. At the end of the day, you're going to always get an authentic Andre Ward. You're always going to get an Andre Ward that gives his best. And you always going to have realness when you see me fighting, when you talk to me in person, because that's the only way I know how to be. So thank you guys. I appreciate all the support. The Bay Area, man, I love you.
You got people that are for you, people that love you, write great things about you. You got people over here that don't like you for whatever reason, don't like your style, this and that, but they can't argue with the results. And our goal is just, when it's all said and done, and the writers or whoever decides, you know, who gets into the Hall of Fame, like my body of work will speak where they'll say, man, he's one of the best that ever laced up a pair of gloves. That's my goal.